Hi, my name's Paul Armfield and I'm in the Tenchfishers. Continuing on from some of my colleagues who've done a review of what's in their tackle box, I thought it'll be a good time for me, now that we're in the beginning of spring, to share with you what's in mine. I've been fishing for tench for a long time, and so I've got just quite a few bits of kit that I've accumulated over the years. But given that we're in spring, probably a good place to start is gravel pit fishing, and let's have a look at my box for all my gravel pit tackle. So here we are at my desk where it all happens, and this is where I do all the preparation for the beginning of the season. And you will see here a nicely cleaned box. Had to get out loads of dead things from it and give it a good old once over. But it's a classic old tackle box made by Witchwood. Loved it, had it for a while, and it's one of two or three that I actually have. So here's my tackle box. This is the one I use primarily for lake fishing. And you'll see in it that it's nicely organised, which is very, very important to me when I go fishing, to make sure that I know where everything is and I've got stocked up, and I can't stand running out of things. So let's have a look at it bit by bit. The first thing probably to draw your mind to is the boxes themselves. I've got a number of boxes, all of them very, very carefully segmented. And what you'll see there is typical range of things I like to have everything organised. It takes a lot of the guesswork out. You know where everything is, and I know that I'm going to be using the same rigs over and over again. So what you've got here in this one are all the various different swivels that I use. I'm a big fan of helicopter rigs in particular, and you know, those are the rigs that are kind of like my go-to rigs. And here are all the components that you have. There's, you know, quick chain swivels, a range of different swivel sizes. I've got liners here. I've got quick break swivels. Those are the ones that you can connect onto the feeders and quickly change them. I've got a range of Hellerman sleeves that are all ready to go, and so on. We've also got lots of rubber beads that I might use, the shorter, quicker versions of the sort of the feeder links. And also here you'll see I've got a range of these kind of like helicopter bead setups that I fix in between two sort of rubber beads up on the line, and they provide the perfect anchor for any helicopter rigs that I might be using. The third one here, which just fits nicely, these are all my pop-up artificials, if the lake allows. Everything from white foam, which is going really, really well at the moment on the tench fishing that I'm doing, pop-up casters, and a variety of different sort of pop-up maggots as well. In the main tackle box unit, what you'll find here is another box. Yes, lots and lots of boxes. And it's quite interesting. It's a good way of sort of kind of keeping everything together. And here's kind of like my Pandora's box. Again, all sorts of various bits, various sort of clip things that we've got here. We've got various sort of types of rubber sleeves that we can use over the hooks. We've got these, a variety. I mean, I absolutely adore using these sort of covers that go over the swivels, ready-made helicopter rigs, and so on and so on. I've even got some of the cart versions of these beads that you can put on that break away. And the idea is a lot of the rigs that we pull together, they're actually based on safety, so that you know, if the fish or the feeder or whatever gets tethered, the rig breaks down very, very safely, and you know, causes the minimum amount of fuss. You'll also see here I've got a whole variety of different hooks. Favourite hook patterns at the moment, Gamakatsu, absolutely wonderful hooks, pin, sharp, really quite economical. And I usually carry hooks in sizes ranging from 10 down to 14. When you're gravel pit fishing, I don't really see the need to go any smaller than that. Probably my favourite hook pattern of all time are the Guru MWGB, the microbarbed, and again using those for 10 and size 12. Guru have come out with another one, which is a better wide gate version, which is their Super XSide. Again, really, really top quality hook, nice and light, and very good if you want to do sort of pop-up things. You've also got the classic quarter mixer. I wouldn't go anywhere without it. Absolutely wonderful hook. Again, really good wide gape, perfect for maggots. And last but not least, another brand that I've been using and trying out, slightly different. They're the KKHs by Preston. Again, incredibly sharp, but they've got a slightly longer and an outturned eye, which is quite an interesting sort of pattern size and shape, and as a result tends to give a slightly different hook hold. I'm still out for the count on them, you know, and if you had to point me down to my one go-to hook, it would definitely be the Guru, the MWGB microbarbs. They are absolutely outstanding and are my favourite go-to hook. So managed to put all of those little boxes back. So what else do we have over here? So I usually carry just a variety of different hook link lines. My favourites, well, I've got hundreds, to be quite frank, but you know, in my tackle box today, I go with the standard. I say the standard. These are my lines of preference. I'm a big fan of Amnesia. If the water's a bit coloured and I can get away with a slightly thicker line, I do love Amnesia because it's got a really good kind of bend and curve to it, which especially when you're doing pop-up maggots is a really nice thing to have. It makes the hook turn very, very aggressive when you do a kind of knotless knot. Next, which is probably my kind of go-to line, is Soft Ghost. I've been using it for years. It's a fantastic fluorocarbon, never let me down. Again, all of these are usually in £10 or slightly more. Trilene, classic, been using it for years, never let me down. Again, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Can I pick between the two? No, not really. And a new line that's just come out, which is quite interesting. I do quite a bit of perch fishing, and this new line has come out called Sick, made by Barclay. It's a new fluorocarbon, and it's slightly thinner in diameter, but for the same poundage. So you can get away with, you know, quite thinner line if you're going for a slightly more delicate presentation. But fluorocarbon's not always, you know, the go-to line. Sometimes, you know, braid is really good, especially when I'm doing kind of like multi-rigs. So the type of things that I would be using, actually, that's probably not the one to come on to at the moment. You know, ESP, they've been doing it for years, but these are my kind of go-to braids. Sometimes I really need to pin it down on the lake bed. Other times I'm not too fussed about it. You know, and my ever faithful tungsten putty there. But if I had to pick, you know, two favourite braids right now, it's definitely going to be the two ESP ones. Why? Because they're heavy, they're tough, and you can super rely on them. Really, really fantastic pieces of kit. So putting it all back there, what other things have we got? I showed you this one a little bit earlier on. Really interesting. Sometimes you need to make a decision as to whether you're going to be using any sort of protective tubing of sorts, or losing any type of protective leader. You know, a classic example for that would be if you're fishing on the gravel bars, or fishing on areas where there might be some sharp gravel, that type of thing, or maybe even, dare I say it, tiger mussels, that type of thing. So I would often turn to either Fox Submerge, which is a great leader material. It's lead free, which is very, very important. And also the other great thing about it is that, you know, you can make up your own lengths. Very, very reliable, very, very good value for money. But in the time, I mean, technology is an amazing thing. This new stuff's come out, and it's lead-coated rubber tubing. And again, it saves you the need to having to make up your splice, especially when you're using inline feeders, and I often use this stuff. It's incredibly heavy, and it sinks like a stone, so well worth looking at. The other thing that I sometimes do, and I've just started doing this, is using these sort of booms, if you like. These have been made by Gemini Tackle, and I find that with the new combi rigs that I've been using, these are great booms. And what you do is you attach them kind of at this end. They come in packs of 3, so I always have quite a few in my tackle box. Let's put some of these away and get one out. They come in packs of 3, and what you basically have is a ready-made kind of loop that you can put in through the swivel just down at this end, and then right up at the top end they have a tiny little ring, and to that ring you can attach your short braided hook link, one that can turn over really easily. And then what I usually do is put a little blob of putty on that, and you've got yourself your ready-made combi rig. So some people like to make their own, but quite frankly, you know, these ones from Gemini I think are great value for money, and you know, I would definitely use them. I'm a big fan of using bait spikes at the moment. We've got these ones here that I just get from online, cheap as chips in packs. Like you can see, there's no branding or anything. These bait spikes are very interesting in that I can't focus in brilliantly, but they've got free rings attached to them, which is great. So if you're bait spiking maggots, for example, or pellets, they give a huge degree of mobility. I've got these tungsten sinkers. Again, I buy these online. They're much more cost effective, going to companies like Bank Tackle. Absolutely brilliant pieces of kit. And then other bits and bobs, you know, all sorts of things. Crikey, I've got, you know, we've got scissors. I've got a whole range of things that stick into things. So what you'll see here, I always carry a syringe around with me. It looks a bit strange, but just being sort of a bit politically correct, it's a blunt one. It's you can buy these online from Amazon in packs of 10, and the idea is you can air inject any worms that you might have to help them sort of pop up off the lake bed. And into that soft spongy thing, I've also got all sorts of various baiting needles and threading devices, which is great. Within the bag, again, loads and loads of just standard sort of rubber stops. You know, I buy these from Somerset Fishing Tackle or Bank Tackle, really cheap and very effective. And you buy them in packs of 100 because I do use them. Hook pulling tool, essential. Got the Preston loop tire. We've got this is a shredding device which is used to pull the outer coating off the braid. There's the Preston loop tire, which is very good, very handy, and always another pair of braid scissors and a pair of forceps. So as we you know, come to think about, well, it's not just about the tackle box itself, is it? It's also about the line that I use. Again, here are the 3 favourite lines. I've got Nash Bullet, my evergreen favourite, as well as just been trying out Quarter Subline. Both of them very similar properties. I don't tend to like fishing in super weedy situations, so I will stick with £10, knowing that I will always land fish on those, even the carp that we accidentally catch. But if I'm in a very clear situation, I will definitely drop down to probably one of my all-time favourite lines, which is Matrix Submerge. I use it for all my chub fishing during the winter. It is absolutely indestructible, and it's a really reliable line. Great thing about it is it's also got a much better diameter, thinner diameter than the other 2. But anyway, use any one of those 3 and you'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so now that we've moved over to the lines, what about reels? Well, At the moment, I mean, anyone who knows me will know that these have been one of my favourite reels. Certainly been using them for probably over 20 years, and these are the legendary Shimano Aero 10,000s. Absolutely fantastic, the XTEs. You can pick them up for very, very little money, and they are super reliable. They've got the push button spool, which I absolutely adore. We've also got good quality line capacity, and it's got a bait mullen mechanism that, quite frankly, has just proved itself in the test of time. The drag even on it is not too bad, so very, very happy, and always have 3 of those locked away in the car ready to go at the moment's notice. But that's not the only one. Over the last couple of years, I've also been trying these little boys out, and these are absolutely gorgeous. You know, when you're fishing big pits, you probably do want a large arbor spool, and one of the few reels that does cater for that, and everyone who knows me knows that I'm a big fan of a Kuma. These are the Kuma INC 6000s. They are extraordinary value for money. They're only about 55 quid each. They're beautifully built. They've got a very slow mechanism. They've got protection. They've got lovely soft line clips, and look at that line lay. It is completely and utterly faultless. You won't get better line lay than that. The other good thing about these is they've got quick drags. So a lot of people might not get used to quick drags, but believe you me, literally half a turn and you're on full lock. Probably take it away down half a turn and you've got a nice playing drag just in case a fish lunges short in. They take good line capacity, and you know, hitting 80 yards with these reels is absolutely no problem at all. Again, highly recommend you guys seek it out. And last but not least, there's the other bits. Spom. Don't go anywhere without it. It's just like an American Express card. Brilliant for baiting at distance. I like these ones that are called Dot Micros. I don't actually know who makes them, but they're amazing pieces of kit. Very, very reliable, fly incredibly well. And I've never really had any problems with them. Never had any break-offs or anything. I fit them all with one of these mega kind of like Pite snap link swivels, which just give it a little bit of flexibility in the air. And couldn't recommend it. I just couldn't recommend it highly enough. That combined with a spom station, and you know, you can spom up very quickly. I use worms a lot. I wouldn't go anywhere without my worm scissors. These just make the job of chopping up worms a lot simpler. I bought these a long time ago, and boy, have they given me really good service. Quite a bizarre contraption, but absolutely brilliant and very, very effective. Last but not least, feeders. Yay! Oh, yes, when you're spomming, a finger stool, very, very helpful. You put it on your finger when you're casting out, and it gives you a lot of protection for your finger. Let me just put it on. Basically, it works like that, and this is the bit that clips around the line of the reel when you're casting out. Really, really clever piece of kit. Feeders, got all sorts. What have we got in here? One of my favourites, Drennan Inline, 2 ounce. Use it all the time. Very, very simple and effective. My other go-to one, this is for the heady rigs. I will always use Kamazan black caps. 60 gram or 50 gram, I think these might be. Kamazan black caps. Absolutely brilliant pieces of kit. Now, with a lot of my feeders, I always tape them up just to slow down the release of the maggots. And it's really funny, if you do a bad cast and with one of these and you recast out almost straight away, literally by the time you brought the feeder back, all the maggots would have gone. So, you know, they do release very quickly, which is why I tape them up. I've got some of the old window feeders. One of my colleagues was talking about that. Again, very accurate. These ones are made by Preston. You can get them up to all sorts of different weights. They fly very, very well in the wind, very, very straight. And all you do is fill them up with your maggots and then just put a smudge of ground bait over, and that will give you your distance. And old school, what have I got here? Oh, remember these? These are the old Coram combi feeders. Again, they've got caps that you can take off, bottom and top, and then suddenly you can convert it over to a ground bait feeder. I don't tend to use ground bait that much in feeders, but what I do use is ground bait and long distance, cast them out with big catapults, or actually put them in the spawn as well. So when you open up the spawn, I can sometimes put a ground bait ball or a selection of ground bait and a ground bait mix into this, and then clip it shut, and then cast that out. So there you have it. Well, thank you for taking the time to have a look at my Tenchy tackle box, and if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, and hopefully other colleagues of mine, other Tenchfishers, will be posting theirs too, because believe you me, there's loads of people using all sorts of different things out there. So main thing is enjoy tench fishing, and maybe see you on the bank sometime. Tight lines.